So I'm filming this incredibly early in the morning. You can probably tell by the bags under my eyes, but I really wanted to get this review out to you guys in time because this is simply and honestly the best game of 2020. I don't care what's coming out. Cyberpunk 2020, Last of Us Part 2, Xenoblade, I don't care. This is the best game to come out in 2020. This is topping everything else. There's just, and that's a bold claim, but with this review, we're okay. First off, let me tell you what we're reviewing. We're reviewing Final Fantasy VII Remake, PlayStation 4, and this game is simply phenomenal. I am excited that this is coming out. As of the review of the time of this review now, it's not out to the public, but it will be. But let's go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you why you need this game. You must own this game. And yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and get into it. I'm Mekel, Kasanova, Hawaii's favorite YouTuber, host of the #1 podcast in state of Hawaii, the Kasanova podcast, and the new podcast, the Best Damn Podcast Show, period. I stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, so you can catch me there if you want to join our amazing Discord group. You got that down below. And also shout out to my patrons and channel members for just helping me be able to do what I do, and just keeping us rolling even with this current situation we're dealing with COVID-19. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the review of why Final Fantasy VII Remake is the best game of 2020. Roll the intro. "1997 was the year that having a JRPG become a mainstream success, brought to us by Squaresoft, which is now known as Square Enix, with Final Fantasy VII. That JRPG was my first foray into JRPGs and was the game that helped me become better at reading and English. And now in 2020, roughly 23 years later, we are finally graced with a remake of what is the defining game of the RPG genre that, along with Metal Gear Solid, changed what and how we experience both games and their narratives. Is Final Fantasy VII Remake the game to bring back that historic honor and redeem the franchise, or is it just another blunder in Square Enix's library the way that Final Fantasy 13 and, regrettably, 15 were? Let's find out. The intro to Final Fantasy VII Remake starts off with a breathtaking cinematic that shows most of Midgar as well as Aerith, and then makes a few transitions of scenes with the music shifting from the classic original to aspects of Sephiroth's theme, and then the camera focuses on a train and transitions to Biggs, Wedge, Jesse, and Barrett, and then our story's hero, Cloud Strife. Cloud is an ex-soldier, first class, or so it seems, has taken a job to work with the eco-terrorist group known as Avalanche, led by Barrett Wallace, to stop the various reactors from draining the planet's life force, known as Mako, which powers the metropolis of Midgar. As Cloud and Avalanche brave the onslaught of Shinra Electric Company and their elite soldiers, you end up blowing one of several reactors up. In the original, this would have had you head back to the Avalanche HQ, get a drink from Tifa. But in this reimagining of a classic tale, you are forced to walk the streets and see the consequences of what you just did, and see the destruction and chaos and lives lost due to what you've done. This all hits even harder due to the OST that accompanies you as you proceed forward in the streets, and makes it hit hard and realize that while you may be a hero to some, to others you are a murderous villain, and perfectly showcases the duality of extremisms and the shades of gray of perceived right and wrong. As the story goes on and expands, it goes from a simple extremist group like Avalanche against Shinra to being about saving the very world from the greater threat that is the one-winged angel, Sephiroth. The story of Final Fantasy VII Remake takes a classic tale and reimagines it with modern graphics, soundtrack, gameplay, and generally without the limitations of the original PlayStation era of hardware. It includes more details in the story that were previously unanswered and or were ignored or even cut out to flesh out the story for both fans and a new audience, bringing new life to this age-old story with characters given new looks to them, their mindset, their motivations, as well as giving previous throwaway characters more fleshed out roles and personalities. The characters are so well written and lovable and relatable in a way that no Final Fantasy has ever done before, with so much personality and charisma. They're so well acted and just, oh man, God, I love it. You will see characters from various media of the extended universe of Final Fantasy VII, such as Crisis Core, On the Way to a Smile, Before Crisis, The Kids Are Alright, and more, which basically showcases that the compilation isn't so much as obsolete as it is being better utilized, and like the recent Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3 remakes, it's being reimagined. The gameplay has undergone a significant change in both style and structure, with it shifting from the previous turn-based style to an action-focused based combat akin to a mixture of Final Fantasy XV and Kingdom Hearts, yet it retains the strategic and methodical gameplay of the original. The way the combat seamlessly flows from battle to battle is so perfect, and you're able to, at the touch of a button, switch to different characters in battle easily to control a specific character. All attacks are carried out in real time if you choose that style as opposed to the classic style, which allows you to attack, jump, guard, and evade all in real time. You can select commands for non-controlled characters as well as your own to topple any foes that gets in your way. This is especially helpful as you fight bosses that have you needing to use specific skills to either damage them or break their defenses. The previous ATB or active time battle now allows you to use specific actions depending on how filled it is, and is segmented into spells, special abilities, and item uses which have costs associated with them. The gauge fills slowly initially to encourage you to shift between your available characters and will grow as you attack your enemies more. Your party members will rarely, if ever, use higher tier skills and abilities on their own, so it is important for you to assess the situations in battle and switch accordingly to the needed character, as the demands of the moment-to-moment combat are incredibly high and your enemies will show you oftentimes no mercy. Each character has a specific and unique skill that they can use which doesn't cost them anything to use, and is strategically advantageous to them to use in key moments and situations, such as Aerith's Tempest's ability, which fires off crystals, or Cloud's Punisher mode, which ups his damage output yet limits his mobility, or Tifa's martial arts techniques with unbridled strength, or Barrett's powered up blast from his gun arm. Each of these abilities has their own advantages and disadvantages, and it falls on you, the player, to read the battle situation and use them wisely. You still get your various spells for offense and defense with the usage of what materia you have slotted into your weapons, which brings us to Materia. Remember that? Materia was such a huge aspect of the original game that you couldn't hope to get far if you didn't learn the importance of what materia to equip, how many slots your weapons have, or the various buffs the weapons gave to the growth and mastery of said materia. In the original, you had materia that could give you various buffs, give you access to certain spells and summons, as well as resistances to certain statuses and elements when paired with the right materia. And in the remake, this doesn't change at all. While each character has a certain classical class or job that they are assigned by default, the ability to outfit your character with various materia will allow them to play substantially different from other characters. And it is this level of customization that allows you to make your character builds be whatever you want, such as having Cloud be a healing mage with healing materia spells, or Aerith a black mage with destructive offensive spells. Taking on odd jobs is a new aspect of the game that has you working with characters like Aerith and Tifa, which also weaves in more plot and showcases certain characters in ways that they either weren't shown in the original or just weren't at all shown. And I love it all the more for it. The fact that they made the dynamics of the characters and the banter between them, and not only combat but odd jobs as well, it just feels so real. It just helps to establish the relationships and lore, and just makes it that much more awesome. How the game uses these events to explore the fractured psyche of Cloud and his relationships with Tifa, Aerith, and the others is so well executed that on more than one, or say 40 occasions, will you find yourself in tears. To say that I am again stunned at how amazing Square Enix has been able to showcase these characters is an understatement. When I first saw the CG of the characters in the original game, I was blown away and thought it looked lifelike. And then I was blown away again when I saw the trailer and eventual movie of Advent Children and Advent Children Complete. And I was again blown away when I saw the Final Fantasy VII tech demo for PlayStation 3 that was just jaw-dropping back in 2006. And now here we are in 2020 with this game having what may be some of the most realistic looking amalgamations of real life meets fantasy style of graphics I have ever seen. Cloud is one gorgeous looking man in this remake, and the detail from his hair to the individual strands of his hair, to his facial structure and details in his eyes and more are simply amazing. The detail in each character is beyond anything I've seen shown using the Crystal engine that Square Enix uses, which rivals that of the Resident Evil engine or the RE engine of Capcom. The way the lip syncing is done is so spot on, with only a few instances where the audio and syncing are off, and yet even with that you have to pay very close attention to catch it being off. The details of the skin and blemishes of the characters is impeccable, and the detailing down to the fibers and stitching and the clothing is beyond anything I've seen in gaming, and is something that even rivals what Capcom has done with both Devil May Cry 5 and the Resident Evil remakes of 2 and 3. Even details of battle scars and characters like Barret and even tattoos have such levels of detail that it makes me wonder how much power did this game stress in the PlayStation 4 to achieve all this. Each environment is incredibly detailed, and the bloom effects and lighting and ambient work is just perfect. It perfectly syncs to create a world that looks and feels lived in and beckons to be explored. Details such as rust and age damages to buildings and walls all look scarily real, and let's not mention the way water and water physics are done, as it's near impossible to tell it apart from real life water. What baffles me is how amazing this game looks, regardless of whether I played it on PlayStation 4 Standard, Slim, or Pro, with some added details and benefits of playing on the Pro. The game had no slowdowns whatsoever, although on the Pro it did make the PlayStation 4 sound like it was about to blast off into the cosmos the way Genova does. Probably shouldn't have said that, but oh well. Square Enix, you guys are technical wizards. And let's talk about the audio. What can I say for the audio other than the fact that they brought back the legend himself, the icon, the musical maestro and genius that is Nobuo Uematsu, the man that created all these classic themes in the original, as well as many of the classics of Final Fantasy up until Final Fantasy X, is back at the helm of this game's soundtrack, and it is simply a marvel to listen to his new renditions of classic themes such as Let the Battle Begin in its grand orchestral style and its EDM inspired remix called Those Who Fight Further. That is played during the Squat minigame and more. The music in this game is more than just video game music, but it's art in and of itself, and it's something I find myself listening to when I'm not playing the game, such as Those Who Fight Further when I'm working out, as it pumps me up to crush those sets at the gym, or when I work out at home, or the atmospheric and symphonic theme of Bombing Mission, which has such a grand soundstage to it that makes you feel like you are taking on the grandest mission of your life with the most utmost of urgency. The music is truly in a league of its own. The voice acting is so well done that I can't even imagine anyone else in these roles now. And while, yes, I do miss Steve Burton as Cloud and George Newbern as Sephiroth, Cody Christian and Tyler Hoechlin, as well as the rest of the cast, pay so much homage to the previous takes on these characters, and all the while making their own renditions sound not only organic, but alive, which is something the original cast didn't do so well at all, as their renditions were at best stilted and awkward. However, the silver lining in all that is the fact that Rick Gomez's take on Zack Fair, who is my all-time favorite character and role model, well, I'm gonna miss him, but his character is compensated for. Everything from the sounds of attacks to the sword on steel and flesh and fires of guns and explosions all sound incredible. How the sound team was able to do all that they did is beyond me, but man, am I impressed by what they have achieved here. So, okay, with all this praise, you're probably wondering what is the downside. And honestly, I know I'm probably going to get flack for this, but I can't think of any downside other than I want more. And now, many may lament the fact that this is only the first act of the original and is going to be an episodic take on the original story. But honestly, it's beyond that, because this game is effectively the start of something akin to Marvel's Cinematic Universe, and it's just going to bring in a lot of references and more of the subsequent entries, and it's just got me in the state of, man, I need more. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get to the wrap up and just go ahead and put a rating on it. And honestly, with so much firing off on all cylinders, from the graphics, the gameplay, the OST, the voice acting, story, and new surprises, and just the astounding achievements of what Square Enix was able to do, and the fact that they not only lived up to the original but also exceeded it with a game that will appease old fans and bring in newer fans and a newer generation. It's safe to say that Final Fantasy VII Remake delivers, and is incredibly generous in its delivery. The game pays so much respect to the lore and the original that you will be hard pressed to find a game that will top this, not only in 2020 but ever. Like, in a time of remakes and resurgences of classic franchises, Final Fantasy VII Remake is the one game that, no matter what kind of gamer you are, you must own. Get this game right now. And that's the review of Final Fantasy VII Remake. I know I am incredibly, I've had to keep my mouth shut for so long about this game. It is fan-friggin-tastic. This is the game. Like, I can't even, I can't put into words how much I love this game. It fires on all cylinders, and the only bad thing about it is that I want more, and I need it, and I gotta have it, you know? It's just one of those feelings. It is absolutely crazy how well crafted this game is, and they've been working on this for so many years. I just hope the subsequent entries don't take as long to come out as this one did. But with that being said, phenomenal game. Square Enix, you guys knocked it out of the park. There's nothing touching this game in 2020. So with that being said, what do you guys think? Do you have the game already? I know some outlets already released it early, some in the US, some internationally have had it for about 4 to 5 days. So with that being said, if you got it, tell me what you think about it. If you were watching this after the game came out to the public, tell me what you think about it. Do you like it? Do you dislike it? What are your thoughts? Let's get the conversation going down below. If you want to pick up the game, I have Amazon affiliate links down below, which help basically, you know, I get a kickback, small commission. But if you're going to purchase it, there's Amazon affiliate link. If you've already got it, cool. Whatever. With that being said, I'll catch you guys on the next one. This is Mekel Kasanova, Hawaii's favorite YouTuber, host the #1 podcast in the state of Hawaii, the Kasanova podcast, and the new podcast, the best damn podcast show, period. Available on all streaming and podcasting outlets. And yeah, join the Discord. We got a ragtag group of amazing people in the Discord, from people in the gaming industry to more. So yeah, catch you guys in the next one. Deuces wild, too sweet, be the elite. I'm gonna go to sleep because I am tired. I've been working on this, working very hard to get this review out to you guys. So with that being said, I catch you guys on the next one. Be blessed, stay safe, stay home while this whole COVID-19 situation is going on. Wash your hands, social distance, you know, we don't need to tell you that. And have a great one. Hey, you made it to the end of the video. Congratulations. And since you made it here, why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Like the video if you enjoyed it. You can always check out MikelKasanova.com. If you want to support the content, we've got Patreon, as well as channel memberships and super chats. And with that being said, this is Mekel Kasanova. I enjoy you guys. I hope you have a great one. Mahalo, and see you next time.